Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Volkswagen Golf actually, which is rare for us. Volkswagen Golf 2-litre GT FSI. This car's registered YK54KZH. Mileage on the car is just 82,047 miles, so it's a nice low mileage one. The reason we do all of our videos, and actually especially this road test video, is to ensure that if anyone's actually online looking at any of our cars that we're advertising, they get to see the very car in the advert actually in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is because, like so many people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs and descriptions, but only to get there and find out when you drive it, it's got an obvious fault that shows up when you're driving the vehicle. So hence that's why we do it. Also done on these very quiet country roads. It's a lovely part of Gloucestershire. This actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, so hopefully then it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, as you'll know from our website, we sell pretty much 95% Hondas with occasionally some Lexus and Toyota cars, so we're pretty much Japanese dominated. But we obviously take cars as part exchange. But we treat them all the same. So in terms of kind of doing videos and that kind of thing, they're all treated in the same manner. The car's been incredibly well looked after. Most Golfs of this age will have probably got 5 or 6 owners on them by now, you know, partial histories. This one's had just 2 owners from new, and I think from memory it's been serviced 15 times, including the cam belt back in 2019. So clearly a very, very well looked after car. And generally when you get in the car, especially on quite bumpy country roads like these, you get to find out what they're like very, very quickly indeed. Because if they haven't been maintained, they'll feel kind of loose and rattly, and you know, lots of things not working, warning lights, all the usual things. But there's nothing on it. It is really, really lovely. I've obviously driven it before when the chap came to see our Honda, so I know the car well in that sense. But the engine starts instantly and settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge, according to Google, is in exactly the right place because it's halfway up on the gauge itself, and it's been running for some time now as well. But the engine's nice. It's a smooth, quiet engine. It's gutsy. It's got plenty of performance. It responds well, but it feels very smooth and quiet on the move. You know, almost inaudible most of the time. But it's, you know, very, very pleasant engine to use. Engine then feeds into clutch and gearbox. Clutch in the car, absolutely spot on. Nice and smooth. Bite point's good. Bites perfectly well. And then it goes into the 6-speed manual gearbox. And you know, actually, like Honda, Volkswagen are renowned for good gearboxes, not only in terms of being reliable, in terms of the manual certainly, but also very nice to use, and this one's no different. It's nicely weighted, it's precise, it's accurate. You know, doesn't feel much different to would have done when it was new. It still engages with a real precision, and it's just a very, very nice gearbox. It's one that kind of you enjoy using rather than feel as though you actually have to use it. The steering and the chassis on this generation Golf, by the way, were really, really good, I have to say. This is where I think this is the Mark IV. I'm hopeless with things like Marks, but I think the one before this I was never a great fan on. It just seemed slightly detached, a bit floaty, whereas this has got really lovely steering, nicely weighted, very accurate, very precise, and it tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations at the speed or any speed up to the legal limit actually. But it's just a really nice, classy setup, and it just feels really tight. The whole car does. That's the one thing whoever comes to see it will know from this video, at least anyway. You know, it's not one of those cars you get in, it all feels a little bit loose and old and rattly. Quite the opposite. It feels, you know, as close to new to be able to drive it as, you know, in its feel as you'd expect any used car to feel. The chassis again, really nicely done. Very, very comfortable ride. You know, it's noticeable on these bumpier roads how it smooths out the bumps, you know, very well indeed. but when you go through the corners, it responds really nicely. It's, you know, it's not dramatically sporty, but it goes through corners very well. The body control's really nice. It's engaging to drive, again, whereas lots of cars, you know, especially hatchbacks, family hatchbacks, can just be good ways to get from A to B, but this one's actually quite enjoyable to drive as well. Also, again, when I go over bumps, there's no rattles, there's no clonks, there's nothing at all. Very, very, very solid indeed. Just going to spin around here because we're pretty much at the halfway point. Pick up pace really, really nicely, I have to say. Put your foot down, but not a lot of engine noise, which is really nice. I'm just going to get up to a decent speed and give the brakes a good shove, which I know they're good, and they are really good. Nice positive pedal on the car, no pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the pedal at all, so all very, very nice indeed. Coming inside the car, it's been kept really, really well. There's minimal signs of wear and tear in the car. There's no rattles or creaks, no groans. They are very well put together cars, always have been, so that comes as no great surprise, but they can get abused. You know, there obviously is wear in the car. There's a few little bits on the plastic things here, little marks there. I'm being petty, absolutely petty, because most people just sit in the car and think, yeah, this is a really, really nice example. All seems to work rather nicely. Radios function fine. The only thing I can find inside the car that doesn't seem to work is the rear driver side electric window. So it might be something as simple as a switch or a motor, I don't know. So it's not something we'll be doing, but I'd like to make sure people are aware of these things before they come to us, so they know that in advance, because that's the whole point of doing these videos. But it's been kept, the whole car's been kept really nicely. Externally, the only things I note is the alloys are actually really good, but there's obviously a bit of curbing on the outside, as you'd expect, given the fact that it's 18 years old now or something now, the car. And it's got one, again, a common on the Golfs of this age, in fact much newer ones as well, it's got one blister on the driver's side wheel arch, but the rest of it is incredibly clean. It's one of the nicest ones you'll see, and that could be easily rectified by a paint company, or you do a DIY job. It's that easy. I have to say, it drives very impressively, really does. I think Volkswagen are sort of similar to Honda, and I love my Hondas. In terms of kind of engineering integrity and the way they put things together, they're certainly on a par, because most cars of this vintage will feel very, very old to drive. This doesn't at all. It drives absolutely beautifully. As always, got any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call.